Hello, hello, my wonderful creative people. My name's Bev.G.Star and I'm the host and artist behind the Creative Isolation, a project on behalf of Seed Sedgemoor. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my home studio. Well, today I'll be talking you through the benefits and the way to draw mindful mandalas. Now, I'm gonna wait a few minutes before I get started just to see who joins the session today. And just to let you know, if you don't join the session live at any time, this video will be embedded on the Facebook Creative Isolation page, so you will be able to access or re-watch it any time that you feel like you would like to watch this demonstration again. So like I said, my name is Bev.G.Star. If you would like to introduce yourself on the feed, that would be absolutely fantastic. Maybe tell me who you're watching with, where you're watching from, and if you're going to or have before drawn a mandala. So I discovered the art of drawing mandala a few years ago when maybe I was feeling a little bit low and I needed a new technique or a new skill, and ever since then I've been hosting this workshop, Mindful Mandalas, to help people focus or maybe channel their energy into something positive rather when they're feeling low. So Mindful Mandalas, it's a great skill to use when you're feeling low or just feeling creative. So this page is all about creativity. It's all about inspiring other people to be creative. So what I would like you to do today, if you do take the opportunity to use the skill that we're going to be working through today, it would be great if you guys could share what you've made online, maybe inspire somebody else and just be all round creative. So let me talk you through my setup. The really great thing about these mindful mandalas or drawing mandalas or just enjoying this process is you don't need a lot of tools, which is one of my favourite things, because sometimes we don't have access to a lot of materials to make creativity. So one thing you will need is a pen or a pencil, a mark maker. It could be a stone, it could be a piece of chalk, and you will need a piece of paper. Now, I've chosen just to use a piece of card that I'm recycling some artwork on, so you don't have to worry about being too particular in how you're going to draw your mandala. You just need to make the effort and use the energy and the skills that I'm going to talk you through today to do that. So let's get started. So when I run the workshop, this mindful mandala, what I like to do is talk about what a mandala is. Okay, and I've researched it, and the easiest thing and the best way for me to describe it, it's a circle, a circle, a circle, never-ending circles with shapes and patterns inside. Now, what I like to do is explore the characteristics of a mandala, and here's some that somebody else drew in a colouring book. So what I tend to do is I tend to be inspired by other shapes that people have used in their mandalas before. Okay, so let me show you a few more out of the book. So again, you can see the overall shape is a circle, and then in between you have these, I'm not too sure if it's going to focus, you have these different shapes, different patterns, and you even have an elephant with a mandala in. That's pretty cool. Okay, so if you want to Google on the internet what mandala is and just maybe use some of the shapes to be inspired by, it's really helpful, and that's what helped me learn this skill. So we have our piece of paper and we've done some exploring, but what I also like to do is get another piece of paper, one that's lined, it doesn't really matter, to practice some shapes that I'm going to use eventually inside the circles of the mandala that we're going to draw. And let me just show you how to do that. So we've looked at the mandala and now I'm going to draw some shapes that I saw, and I saw this kind of upside down, can you see that? Upside down leaf shape. They're in a lot of mandalas, and I also saw this never-ending swirly lines, and I saw some dots, and I saw straight lines, and I saw zigzag lines. So if you want to draw out the project or make the mandala skill last longer, it's always good to have a reference material for when you do them for your piece. So let's get down to drawing a mandala. Here we go. So I've got a pen that I'm going to use. Again, it really doesn't matter what you use. So don't focus on this being perfect. Just focus on actually doing something. And the first thing I'm going to do is make a centre for my mandala to work around, and I'll show you. It's my piece of paper, and I hope you can see. So I'm just going to draw a first circle for my mandala. You can see that. And inside, I'm going to make another shape. Now, I'm going to do another circle on top of that. Just like so. How well can you see that on the camera? Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, and then I'm going to use that and I'm going to draw lots of shapes around that. Now, I've chosen before, as I showed you, that upside down leaf shape. And I'm just going to draw that all the way around my circle. Now, when you're doing this on your own, it's a really good way, and I'm afraid that I don't think I've set the camera up close enough, so I'm just going to move my board closer. There we go, that pleases me more. So, it's a good thing, this skill is a good thing to do, just to release your energy in your mind and just make and do. So here it's starting to look like a sunshine or maybe a flower. Now I'm going to add some more shapes. So simple. Okay, so I'm going to use that little swirly circle we saw earlier. And again, just keep building out and out and out on my mandala. Okay, so what I'd like you to do at home is draw me a mandala and post it on the Creative Isolation page and show your friends. Share it with your friends and family, and maybe inspire them and teach them to do this skill. So here's the base of mandala. We've done some circles. I'm going to add some more shapes, some lumps and some bumps. You can spend a lot of time making this nice and neat, and you can spend a lot of time perfecting this. I say perfecting it, but what I say is don't strive for perfection, just get on and make something. Because what happens sometimes is we become so consumed with what it's going to look like at the end, or it should be a bit more perfect, or I'd like a straighter line, that sometimes it stops us from being creative. And what I'm trying to help you guys with is just unlocking your creative license and a little bit of artistic flow and just being in the moment of making and doing. Now, as you can see in the background in my home studio, I've actually drawn a mandala on the wall. Now, before I drew that, I did a lot of practice, and I used a ruler and I used a protractor to find the shapes. Now, after we've done our mandala, I'm actually going to teach you how to do a mathical mandala. But we're going to take it slow. What I'm trying to do first is just encourage you to get your piece of paper and your pen and just be creative, okay? So just be in the moment of creativity. Forget about the outside world and just be creative. So you can also do lines. Get some lines on it. My pen's running out, here we go. And you can do some dots. And you can keep pretty much going and going until you can't go anymore. You can spend hours, you can spend 5 minutes, and you can just keep going back to it and making it a fuller mandala. Okay, so I'm going to do another one of these before I go on to do a mathematical mandala. So there's number one. Let me get my tape, just reboard, repaper. So for those of you that are just joining me, thank you for your kindness and patience. My name's Bev.G.Star and I'm an artist and workshop host. And I've been commissioned with some funding from Seed Sedgemoor to run some creative sessions during the isolation stage and trying to inspire people to be creative, get creative and give them some new skills and materials. Okay, so again, for those of you that are just joining me, I'm just going to talk through the basics of a mandala. It's just a circle with another circle with another circle if you feel like it, and then some shapes inside of those. Some petals, maybe some leaf shapes. I would advise you to either Google what a mandala looks like and use or be inspired by other people's work. That's always a great trick because they've been going for absolutely years. So maybe put a swirl in the centre. I'm going to put some dots on the outside of this. Okay, and again, just like you, if you're running out of ideas, return to your material, have a look. Oh, there's a and have a look at the other shapes that have been used. So maybe I'm going to go for something like this, and I'm going to use that inside my mandala, okay? So they've kind of got these swirly lines that come up like so, backing on each other. Can you see that? Great. So, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's all about the creative flow. Now, if eventually you really like the idea of drawing mandalas, you can spend a lot of time perfecting this. Again, not quite perfection, but you can spend a lot of time improving your skills. Okay, so there is the basics of how you draw a simple mandala. Now, I'm going to show you how we draw a mathical mandala. So thank you to those that just joined me. I can see people popping up on the feed. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to get my piece of paper, just reboard, and we're going to talk about a mathematical mandala. So this is for those that want to improve their skills or feel that they have a little bit more time to improve what they already know. So just going to board up here, stick that there for you. So where is everybody watching from today? I thank you for all joining me. It's always nice to hear the feedback from these sessions. Okay, so now for these mathical mandalas, you will need a compass or you will need a template. So you can choose to use something you find around your home. Okay, and again, the mathematical mandala is the one on the wall behind me, and you can see you can improve your skills enough. Maybe you could frame them and you can give them as presents. I've drawn mandalas on floors, I've drawn mandalas on vases, I've actually drawn one here on a plate. Let me show you. So when I realised the fascination for mandalas, I couldn't stop drawing them. So they're just ideas. So you could use a compass for this, or you could use a I don't know, something like round that you could use. Okay, so I'm going to use something that's round first to show you that you don't have to use a compass, or you don't have to make it perfect every single time. So for those of you that are just joining me, we're just about to draw a mathical mandala rather than just a freestyle mindful one. Okay, so this needs a little bit more concentration, so this is ready for you to upgrade your skills. What we do is you put your template onto your piece of paper and you have a really nice, neat circle. Okay, there's my first circle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you with a compass how you can get another circle on that, okay? But you could just do a bigger circle like a plate. So I'm going to find the centre of that circle that I've just drawn, and then I'm going to wing it all the way around. You could do this in pencil and rub it out later. I've chosen to use a pen just for effect today so you can see it if it's dark enough, just about. Okay, now, things that you will need now is a ruler or a straight line of sorts. So let me just find on my desk here. So what I've chosen to use is the protractor. Now this will help me even out my sections for my picture. So what I'm going to do is find the centre again, and I'm going to draw a nice fake line across it, and then I'm going to make it half, and then I'm going to go to the quarters. Okay, now I'm going to improve that, and I'm going to make the section smaller. So very shortly, when I begin to draw my shapes that we looked at earlier at the start of the session, we can put them in, but we can make them more even. So for those of you that are striving for something a little bit more neater rather than just a free-flowing mandala, you can up your game. Okay, so again, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it from 4 into 8, and here is my shape. I wonder how that looks on camera, but you can see roughly what I've got here. Now, when I use my pen and I start filling those shapes out into the circles, what I'll be able to do is, like I said, is make them look more even. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so earlier on I showed you this shape. It's a kind of a leaf shape, and I'm going to draw that and make, by using the lines that I've done, to make all my shapes really even, just like so. Okay, it's a little bit off right now. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm not striving for perfection, I'm striving for creativity. And what I want you guys to do is exactly the same thing. Okay, so you can see here I've got more of a neater pattern than I did when I freestyled. That's okay, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to carry on, and I'm going to add some more shapes, and I'm just going to refer to the book that we looked at earlier with some mandalas in. Okay, so we have some bumps, so this one could be used to go over, and again using the line as my symmetry. That's the word I was looking for, the symmetry of a mathematical mandala. Okay, so just like so, and you can see it's just a little bit more neater than the other one. Okay, and then I can see where I can put my other shapes and continue on. Now you could do that endlessly. You can spend hours drawing the mandalas, absolutely hours, and you can use different colours and you can colour them in. Now, because I'm an artist, I'm a visual artist and I'm a wall artist, what I do is I draw on walls and I draw on floors. Now I've actually drawn big mandalas, they're absolutely huge in my kids' room, and what I try and encourage my children to do is colour them in on their walls when maybe they're feeling anxious or run down or just feeling inspired and creative. So maybe that's something for you guys at home to up your skills. Now children, don't just start drawing on your walls. I don't want you to do that, I want you to speak to your parents, but I just want to express and explain to you that these mandalas helped me when I was feeling low but wanted to be creative and didn't know where to start. And I'm here today with Creative Isolation and the love of Seed Sedgemoor for funding to explain to you that sometimes you don't need all the tools, you just need the creative license. So I'm just unleashing that and helping you out a little bit, okay? So I'm just going to finish up this mandala using the mathematical lines that we drew earlier. And then what I want you guys to do is go away, draw your mandalas, share them online or with your neighbours or with your friends, and maybe lift their mood, make them feel good. Okay, so for those of you that are joining me, my name's Bev.G.Star and I'm the artist and workshop host behind Creative Isolation, a project on behalf of Seed Sedgemoor. And what we're trying to encourage is to create an online community, or just give you guys at home some skills to unleash your creativity. Share them with your neighbours, share them with your community, post them online, make yourself feel good, and that's pretty much it. So do yourself a favour, draw a mandala, post it online, and I'll catch you soon. I'll hang around online to answer any questions you may have, but for now, I think that's all. Get creative. Bye guys, thank you very much.